Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, it's the morning of June 15th. That means it is fight day. We have Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin. Of course, I know all of you are excited about this fight. And in this video, I'm going to give my official fight prediction. Now, many of you know that I am I like to give my official fight prediction after I see the weigh-ins because I think there's a lot that you can glean from an actual weigh-in. We'll talk a little bit about the weigh-in later. I do want to compare and contrast Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin first, and then we'll dive into that. Now, today we will be bringing you videos, coverage of the actual fight. We're going to try to do a fight party tonight. As you can see, I'm not in my normal location, so we got to figure out how we're going to do that. But certainly, we want to bring you guys the action tonight, and then bring you some content directly after the fight. But when we think about Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin, you think about the matchup, and you think about what we've heard over the last several weeks, which is each individual will be in the ring with something that they've never seen before. We've heard that Gervonta Davis will be in the ring with the most athletic fighter that he's ever been in the ring with. And we've heard that Frank Martin has never seen anything quite like Gervonta Davis. And I think both are true. I believe that Frank Martin represents a significant challenge for Gervonta Davis. And the reason why I say that is because it's true. He is the most athletic fighter we've seen Gervonta Davis in the ring with. But not only that, Frank is skilled. Frank is highly skilled. Frank can counterpunch. Frank can move forward. Frank can move backwards. He's fast. He got punching power. Frank is a total package. Now, he gets knocked because he's, quote unquote, a contender at 29 years old, or he's never fought for a world championship or never fought a former world champion. But at the end of the day, we understand that he got started in the sport late, and it doesn't negate the fact that he's a highly skilled and dangerous fighter. It's just as simple as that. And then when you think about Gervonta Davis, most people just think about the punching power, but Gervonta Davis brings a lot more to the ring than just punching power. Now, the thing that I think about when I think about this matchup is what I saw from Frank Martin in the Artem fight. Frank seemed hesitant. Artem was an Olympian. I think he medaled, if I'm not mistaken, silver medal, gold medal, something like that. But you know, when you've had that level of experience, there's levels to the game, and not that Frank didn't win that fight, because he absolutely won that fight. However, there were things that Artem was able to do that frustrated him. And one of the things that Gervonta Davis mentioned in the pre-fight lead-up, if you will, was the fact that Frank Martin doesn't like it to the body. Now, no one really likes it to the body, right? But what he was pointing to was the fact that Artem went to Frank's body a lot, and the reaction of Frank, number one, struggling to actually counter that attack, if you will. And then once Artem was able to reach his body, he didn't react very well. I think that's going to be part of the game plan for Gervonta Davis. But not only that, there were just things that Artem was able to do that, I don't know, it just felt like Frank was not able to execute. He couldn't pull the trigger. He couldn't do some of the things that Derek James was asking him to do in the corner. And so that's where you see that there's levels to this. And we know that Gervonta Davis has a lot of experience in the ring. I think he has, of course, the punching power, but I think what's underrated is Gervonta Davis' skill set. He can counterpunch. He can fight moving forward. He can fight moving backwards. He has a complete package in spades, and he's explosive. He's a very explosive fighter. But the thing about it that I believe is also underrated is his IQ. I think Tank is a very smart fighter in the ring, and if you look at Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia in comparison to Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, you can see where the IQ comes into play. So I just personally feel that Tank is coming into this fight with an edge, right? Just in terms of overall skill set, punching power, speed. I think he has more of everything than what Frank Martin brings to the table. But not only that, Gervonta Davis has a lot of experience on the big stage now. He was in the Ryan Garcia fight. He's had multitudes of stars coming out to his events. He's seen the bright lights. He's felt the impact of the event. This is the first time we've seen Frank Martin in this situation. And I haven't seen a fighter just yet outside of maybe like mean, it depends on the fighter, right? But fighters like Floyd, the spotlight is not going to make them wilt. Fighters like Terrence Crawford, the bright lights won't make him wilt. Like if he gets the opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez, that'll be by far the biggest fight he's ever been in, the most press coverage he's going to get. And although I felt Terrence was a little bit nervous in that first interview or the first press conference that they had, he's not going to wilt in a fight. Those types of fighters won't wilt under the pressure. I feel that Frank has already started to feel the effects of the promotion. He seemed calm all the way up into the weigh-in. The weigh-in, he looked a little bit depleted. He looked a little bit frail in the face. He looked more worried because the moment has arrived. And so we'll see how he reacts tonight during the fight. But that type of pressure, intention can just tire you out early. It can put a lot of pressure on you, not relaxed. Tank, after the press conference, after the weigh-in, he's doing backflips. He's been here before. He understands what this is. And so that's going to play a part. But I just think overall, from a matchup standpoint, we'll see. We got two southpaws in there. I just personally feel that, Tank brings more of everything to the fight than Frank Martin, plus the advantage of being there, having the experience of being in a big fight, a big-time fight. So I just feel like overall, this is going to be a good night for Gervonta Tank Davis. So I'm going to pick Gervonta Davis. I believe he's going to win probably by, I think Tank's going to win by stoppage. And I'm going to say he's going to win by stoppage somewhere between the 6th and the 8th round is my personal opinion. I think that's what's going to end up playing out. And then we got David Benavidez versus, I'm not going to even try to pronounce the gentleman's name. You guys know I suck with names, but I think this is going to be a very intriguing fight. David's moving up. David actually mentioned that he had some challenges with this guy when they, and so this is when David was 21 years old. Of course, and David is older now, so of course he's more skilled. But the guy brought a great having power that gave David some problems, and of course that guy's gonna be able to continue to bring that same level of power and jab. And I think the fight's going to be interesting the first few rounds until David figures him out. My guess is this fight, I don't think David's going to stop him. I think this fight's going to go the distance, just like Caleb Plant, but I think that David's going to end up figuring him out somewhere between 6 and 12, and he'll start putting it on those rounds and eventually win those rounds and do it. I call it a UD. It's possible he can stop him, but first time in the division, I'm going to guess that he's not going to stop him, and that he's going to end up going the distance. So it's going to be an interesting night. I'm excited about these fights. I can't wait to the fight start today. Unfortunately, I'm going to start off the fights at a barbecue because, like I said, I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota today, and I am visiting my wife's family, and we got some things that we got to do. But certainly, once the fights do start, I'm going to make myself available, and we're going to start dropping this content. So definitely excited about the fights today. You guys tell me what you think. Who's going to win the fight? The two fights, the two main events tonight: Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin, David Benavidez, and I'm not going to be trying. Well, you guys let me know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and I am out.